Yes, graduates, welcome to Hard Talk Podcast with HTK. Fasten your seatbelts. Hey, users and subscribers, welcome to another episode of Hard Talk with HTK. Oh boy, where do I even begin? The Jayden Smith case has got everybody emotionally heightened. Everybody feels passionate about the subject. But you know what I want to just refocus on today? Today, this blessed Sunday. It is all about justice for Jayden. And we have to be careful that we don't bring distractions into the cause. It isn't about competition. It isn't about who can solve the case and who can't. Those kind of emotions are extremely backhanded and undermining of the process and the efforts of every single platform holder that has put work in. Every single supporter, follower who has cheered on the movement. We have to appreciate right across the board that different content creators and different platform holders actually bring things to the table. No matter how we may not like their style, no matter how we may not like their approach, no matter how we may not like them personally, even if. It is imperative that we remain focused on a case that has got everyone so concerned about the justice system in our island of Jamaica. The fact that a child can go missing just like that, and to date there has been no progress on the case. We're talking about over 6 months now. It is more important that there is a unified cry for people to find out what happened to this little boy, as opposed to spreading divisive thoughts and trying to set people against people and all of that mess. I am not about that. If I disagree with you, I disagree with you. If I disagree with your approach, I disagree with your approach. If I tell you that I do not see something working, so be it. This is not about personal feelings here. This is about a fight for a cause. I'm not in any competition with anybody. I have always been in my own lane, always. At the end of the day, we can celebrate and welcome people on board when it comes to the fight for justice. But if it is a matter of we against them and we can do it better than them and whose intellect is less and whose intellect is more, I have no part to play in that. That kind of negativity around the memory of Jayden is exactly what we don't need. When content creators come out here and they bring tricks and circus acts in order to get their point across, how can they be offended when people are not interested in that? Even if their aim was to get justice. If we are not privy to such situations, we will react accordingly, because what we will not stand for is anybody undermining the process of justice. Okay, now we have a situation where a blogger came out here and he did a 180 on the case. So be it. The 180 he claims was for a greater good. When you break trust, it is the hardest thing to rebuild. We out here as platform holders, we are not sheep. Otherwise, we would not have been holding out on this here platform called YouTube or anywhere else for as long as we have and have done as well as we have. Our history speaks for itself. We don't need to justify that, especially to somebody who's new to the game on this side of the world of social media. Personal attacks, We used to that. We dish that and we receive that. That is nothing. That is just tit for tat and butter for fat and immaturity. But when it boils down to it and it comes to the nitty-gritty of the work, there are bloggers out here who have put in the hours and will not stop putting in the hours when it comes to finding justice for Jayden and other cases. Because Jayden Smith is not the only case that we have handled out here and done so very well. But it isn't about a competition, like I said. And when we turn the narrative into who's better than who is at the back of the class and who's at the front of the class, that kind of nonsense is really about egos. It's really about narcissism, baga and mix up. And that is where the Justice for Jayden movement will fail. On my platform, it is not about lies. It is not about deception. It is not about con artistry. It's not about samfi. I don't operate like that. I prefer to be straight up, honest, and integrous when it comes to the content I present. If I am interrogating a subject, I do so above board. I don't do the tricks. Now, that might be for somebody else and their nature to do. It suits them to do so. It is not within me to do so. Does it mean it has any less of a role if somebody employs those tactics to go after the suspects? No. But has it got to be liked and appreciated by everybody? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Now I can tell you this. I owe absolutely nobody any apology, nor did I offer any. Remember that. Lies don't sit well with me. It never has and never will. Nor do I need to play any of the recordings or any of the contents of people who follow that pathway. That's not my style. If I am introducing someone to my audience and letting them know what they're about, that's actually a promotion of their platform so that they can grow. Because that's the kind of blogger that I am. When I see somebody who is coming on board who can bring something to the table, the first step is to be welcoming. It is by your own behavior that you may get the opposite reaction. So in all things I say, accountability is extremely important. When you present a situation and get the reaction that is due, blame nobody but yourself. Now, at the end of the day, had people been communicating behind the scenes and working in unity around the case, don't you think we would have been 10 steps further? We could have been tempering the audience to ensure that we are patient while this person goes through a process. We would have been less aggressive, less questioning, and more observant. But if you do not share your processes, you get what is due. When this blogger created a whole dramatic scenario, lied so professionally, presented twisted tales in order to support the family of Jayden Smith, you did not expect a backlash? That would have been ridiculous. And in all the planning and development, this ought to have been expected. Remember, those of us who are on YouTube are not on TikTok. We're not familiar with whatever background, history, or whatever you do. Nor were you a focus for us to even go and research that. Our focus over here has always been social justice for the vulnerable, particularly on this platform, the Purple Heart platform right here. So it's social justice for the vulnerable. Jayden's case is not the only case we have handled. Now, when it comes to any competition, we're not about that life. We're not about content scavenging either over here. Whatever it is that we share is that of public interest. If it isn't of public interest, we either steer clear of it or we burn it out. That's how we do it. But what we're not going to do is to tell other platform holders that their work is of no value. That is straight disrespect. And you know what? Is it more important to value the work, or is it more important to spread division and hate? We do not have to agree on every point. Like, I don't agree with the GoFundMe. Yeah, I've never said otherwise. But does that mean that the platform holder that is pushing the GoFundMe is not of value to the case? No, it doesn't. He is of perfect value, providing that he is making sure that he's being transparent with whatever it is he's doing towards the movement. If any of the people fighting for justice for Jayden were sheep, we would jump on everything willy-nilly and accept it all. We don't. We question. We critically think and analyze. Now, there are certain red herring movements that we will never be able to predict, because it literally is a red herring thrown in there for distraction. Now, what is distraction to us? Maybe strategy to you. While you are busy doing whatever you're doing behind the scenes, don't expect us to be so psychic that we are going to know what you are about. Followers will say whatever they want to say because that's what they are. They do not have the responsibility of a platform. So they can jump on whatever ship, whatever board, whatever they want. But it is our responsibility as the platform holders, the content creators, the people who put information out there, to handle that platform with integrity. To use your platform in the Justice for Jayden movement is a wonderful thing. But to use it to split and to create factions shows a deeper sense of insecurity. Because if you're secure in what you are doing and you know that you are doing everything you're doing in good faith, you should expect us to be annoyed with your 180-degree shift. You should expect us not to trust you immediately after you have revealed that this is what your plan was. You should expect us to keep observing you to see if you're real. But you jumped the gun and assumed that that would never come. Getting up in one's feelings has no place in this fight for justice. Looking to set bloggers apart from bloggers is a despicable, low vibrational move. It isn't at the level and the standard that it ought to be. So if this platform holder is about that life, good luck to that person. I have never needed it. I have always been over here doing my thing and will continue to do so. Don't even need to feature your content at all. I could take that stance. But you know what that would be? That would be immaturity. That would be losing focus of exactly what we're trying to get to, which is justice for that little boy. That would be trying to split my audience apart and to say, listen, don't go and support that person. Don't support that person because I am the only one with the answer. I don't do those things. I am not an egoist. I do not deal with stroking egos, and I do not respect anyone who is about preening feathers and not telling me exactly what it is like and what it is. I appreciate my audience for the simple reason that we are free thinkers. And if they don't agree with something I have done, they need to be able to tell me that. And I reflect. Instead of reflecting and understanding that we do not need to accept the way and the manner in which you do things, providing that you know you're doing it for the right reason. That is all that matters. We can all do the throw word, don't call any names game, as though we think that by doing that we're affecting each other's algorithms. We're not. Our people on our platforms are here for what we feed into the movement and what we bring to the table. And they're not going to shift. Your hardcore supporters will never shift. When you present information on a case and it has fallacies and it has lies involved because you have got a master plan going on in your head, don't expect that that is not going to be interrogated and questioned and checked out by other bloggers who are looking to see exactly what you're about. Phone calls will be made, emails will be sent, people will be contacted to verify anything that you say if we think that you are going against justice for that little boy. It is a natural process. To do anything else would have been sheep-like. And no platform holder is the boss of any platform holder out here. We all hold our own. Some of us are more independent than others in that we do not need company in order to stand our ground. So yes, this Mama Lashy will continue to lash anybody who will come out with foolishness with regards to the Jayden Smith case. But guess what? My eye is on justice and nothing else. I do not care if a blogger is in his feelings and think that they are above being called a blogger boy themselves, because that's what they are, no matter what they present. The world of blogging can only have integrity when you present truth and facts, when your actions are honest and above board, when your communication is clear, when you are capable of sustaining and holding an audience. To look down on the world that brings so much when it comes to rich information to platforms like YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and I could go on, is ludicrous, considering that all of us are operating within a community, whether we like each other or not. And if there is a unified voice towards justice for Jayden, it should not be about who is better than who bring better information than who has more skills than who is more intellectual than who. I know people who cannot string together a sentence in English, and their wisdom is so much that it is staggering. Many times, literacy, skills, style, and flair has nothing over the ordinary man who can think and outthink a situation without anybody else telling them what to do or say, purely based on life experience. On this platform, we welcome all to the table who brings something of value to the case and moves it forward. But don't expect that every move that is made will be appreciated when we see that it rocks the conscience and it shifts the narrative and it displaces the confidence that people have in the Justice for Jayden movement. What that blogger did was brave. And what that blogger did could have also derailed everything. It was an extreme risk, and one only he would take, fair enough. But how much further along are we in getting justice is the question I ask. The ultimate thing that was proven, based on the recent shenanigans, is that Shanique is a liar. And Mr. T told the truth. And the family are still suspect. All of this was suspected by many proven by many bloggers, because before all of that, we already had voice notes, we already had comparisons that proved to us that these people were liars, that there was a cover-up, and that there was deception. So if it is the path that you want to go down of determining that only two people can solve the case and nobody else is of value, that's extremely sad. Extremely sad. Because interestingly enough, no matter what criticism you faced, every platform has said that you bring something of value to the table and that we all need each other's voices in order to keep Jayden's name alive. And I still maintain that, whether or not I agree with your tactics. So while we do not need to be bedfellows with each other out here in the fight for the cause, it is important that we work cohesively and we make use of information gleaned from each other that makes us a little bit more aware and gives us more depth. So I don't care where that information comes from, be it from the blogger who claims his intellect is higher than everybody else's, or the lady who is very passionate and cries for Jayden on TikTok almost every day, or the man who compares all the family members to various animals. It doesn't matter to me where the information comes from. If that information comes together for the greater good of bringing justice for Jayden, it will be incorporated on this platform. And I don't need to play a soul in order to get my point across, because I have the gift of language and the ability to analyze information very deeply. So without further ado, we will continue our focus on justice for Jayden. My graduates, if you have made it this far into the video, do hit the like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, click that bell so every time I drop a video or go live, you are notified. This is your girl, Head Teacher K.